Hi guys, it's Royce here again from SpringBeanFitness.com. Hope you're all well. Okay, so subject to the video today was based around a conversation I had with one of my clients this morning actually. Now, she came into the gym and she was quite baffled and she asked a question and she couldn't really get her head around it until I'd talked her through the responses and given her some feedback and explained exactly how these sort of situations work. And this is something that a lot of people really struggle to understand. So I'm going to try and not dumb it down. I don't want to be rude, but try and explain it in sort of layman's terms so everyone can hopefully see what I'm talking about. Now, what had happened with this particular client? She'd been on a diet before. It was sort of a crash diet that she'd done before she joined us, and she had lost 2 stone. Okay. Now, in that time period, she'd lost 2 stone. She didn't feel that amazing, but she'd dropped 1 dress size. Okay. So, for me, looking in as a coach, that doesn't show that a good proportion of the 2 stone would have been from body fat. To only drop 1 dress size from 2 stone of weight, which should be quite a hell of a lot of fat. You should see really significant body and physical changes throughout dropping 2 stone. However, she didn't, which would indicate to me there was other things coming into play, water, glycogen, the other stuff, which I'm going to come on to later. So straight away, I would be worried about how much of that was actually body fat. The second thing she said was since she's been training with us, her weight's hardly moved, especially compared to that 2 stone that she saw before, but she's dropped 2 dress sizes. Okay, so a further 2 dress sizes since training with us. And she couldn't work that out. She was like, how is it possible that I've lost no weight or not lost much weight at all, but yet I've dropped 2 dress sizes, but when she dropped 2 stone previously, she only dropped 1. Okay, now here's something that you hear a lot of people talking about, and I just want to clarify exactly what it means. It's body composition. Okay, now there's a difference between improving your body composition and dropping your weight. Okay, weight is one factor. Okay, when we look at the whole picture, weight is just one thing. So your body weight can move up and down. Okay, are we talking about body fat percentage, bone density, muscle mass index, water levels, subcutaneous water levels, intracellular water levels, glycogen levels within the muscle tissue. Okay, there's a lot of things to consider when you look at what your body's made up of. It isn't just fat, muscle, bone. Okay, there's a lot of things and a lot of different things that are within your body, and that's what we kind of try and understand when we talk about body composition. So that's why you can see these sort of great fluctuations when you do crash diets. Now, 9 times out of 10, these crash diets rely on one thing, okay, and that's intense calorie restriction. And the simple fact for that is all they care about is getting clients results fast, not necessarily in the correct way, and not necessarily addressing the fact that it's not body fat going, okay? Because they know that 9 times out of 10, their clients are going to rely on the information given to them from the scales and not how their body is actually changing. Then, what happens, people go on these intense calorie restrictions, their metabolism will drop, okay, and reach homeostasis, which is why after a while you would stop losing fat, or stop losing weight, I should say. You then go back to a normal calorie intake or a heightened one back at where you was before you started this diet plan, and you'll start piling weight on. Okay, and that's because your body has lowered your metabolism to reach homeostasis, and then when you increase your calories, you're in a calorie surplus because your metabolism's so shut down. Then what happens is people go, oh my god, that meal plan I was on must be working, so I need to go back to it. And lo and behold, that company has your business again. Okay, and that's what they rely on. They rely on yo-yo diets. That's what they're built on. They're built on the principle that someone is going to believe that going back to this company is the only solution. When the truth is, it's not. If they address the issue properly, first of all, by increasing metabolic response and teaching someone how to exercise correctly, then that will be a lot more sustainable in the long run than just crash dieting and intense calorie deficit. Okay, and that's the truth of the matter. So what they're not dealing with within these big companies is the metabolic adaptation. So as I said, that metabolism dropping down and shutting down is not something they're addressing. They're just hoping that by showing fast results and really restricting calories and even certain macronutrient food groups like carbohydrates, which is ridiculous if you understand food at all. There's no need to completely restrict carbohydrates. It's so outdated, the science on that. And we'll go into that in a little bit more detail. One of the things that I often see when we've got girls coming in that are looking to get on stage or guys that want to compete or maybe have competed, they'll come in and we look at where they're at and they'll say, oh, I can't seem to drop any body fat. They're not happy where they're currently at. And generally with these kind of clients, it's a case of, okay, let's see how your training looks. So what cardio are you doing, what weight you're training, how many calories you're on. And I genuinely had a client that was doing this, and she was doing an hour of cardio a day one weight session a day, training 7 days a week, and consuming about 1,400 calories. Now, and she wasn't dropping body fat at all. It just stagnated. Now you can see how efficient your body can be. Okay, whatever demands you put on it, your body will catch up. It is a very, very efficient machine. First thing I did, told her to cut all cardio, so completely reduced her cardio she was doing. She was doing 2 HIIT sessions a week. Okay, so I suppose, yeah, that is cardiovascular work, but it's very different to the type of cardio she was doing. And I said she was only going to weight train day on, day off. Okay, so 3 or 4 days a week, depending on how the structure planned out. Okay, and she saw results within 3 weeks. Simple as that. Just because we changed the stress we was putting on the body. Oh, and up to calories to 2,000 a day. Steadily, we didn't do it straight away. We went from 1,400 to 1,800, then straight up to 2,000 within a couple of weeks because our body needed that energy and that fuel to respond again. And within 4 weeks, she dropped a hell of a lot of body fat. And that's the truth. Again, getting your body to respond will not work by simply starving it. Okay, your body's very, very efficient, guys. It's very clever. And to be completely honest, and I don't want to be condescending or rude to anyone watching this video, that's really not my goal. But there's a lot of knowledge that has to go into considering a properly structured diet plan, which is why if you are looking to get into your nutrition plan, the best thing to do is follow something like one of our recipe books, meal books, or find a source that's out there. You know, if you don't want to use us as your sole provider, then find something out there that literally guides you through a process. And I would say stick to that process as well, because you've always got conflicting arguments. Does this work? Does that work? And if you try and do a little bit from each, you're not really getting the overall plan from one specific goal, one specific target. Okay, guys? Anyway, I hope you've been able to pick up a little bit of information about this, about how, you know, the body changes shape. The key thing to remember as well is a common misconception is the whole muscle weighs more than fat. It's a very, very common sentence we hear. And when you think about it, it's kind of a little bit ridiculous because weight is weight. So a pound of muscle will weigh the same as a pound of fat because they're both a pound. What they're actually talking about when they use that sentence of description is that muscle is more dense than fat, okay? So for example, you know, 2 pound of fat might be this big, whereas 2 pound of muscle might be this big because it's small, condensed, and the fibrous tissues are a lot harder. You know, it's more compressed. So in terms of the weight, it just means that it's smaller and more compressed, which is why when people are gaining muscle and dropping body fat, generally you see everything getting tighter and looking better. Okay, guys? As I said, I hope you've been able to pick something up from this. If you've got any questions, by all means, pop us over an email and I'll respond to them as soon as I can. Okay? See you soon. Happy training.